Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you very much for joining me here today. We're going to take a quick look at Request Network and kind of see what's going on again. I've covered this in the past, but it's obviously doing some things here in the last 24 hours, and I was requested by my community, no pun intended, that we check this out here today. So we'll go ahead and take a look, and just before we do, we always peek at Bitcoin first, kind of see what's going on here. And I just wanted to kind of throw this out here really quick. We've obviously got about a 10% decrease on the day, which is pretty standard for Bitcoin, but ultimately not surprised, right? We got two dead cats in a row. And at this point, we could even see the price come down about as low as 52 to 54,000 is the next little range where I recommend you start dollar cost averaging. Those are two ranges that I've recommended that for a little while now. And just make sure that you're adding to your position for both Ethereum and Bitcoin and obviously altcoins as the price goes lower. We shouldn't expect the price to just jump right back up today, because anytime you have a significant decrease, it's followed by a few other decreases. I do think 52 is the lowest point we're going to see, but at this point, who knows? But I'm still bullish on Bitcoin for the macro. Just the micro is obviously going to take some time to recover. Okay. So all well and good. I think the next week we're going to probably see the price fluctuate between 52 and 56, and then of course break to the upside sometime within about a week's time from now. Okay. So Bitcoin is not in terrible shape. This is just one last opportunity before the increase to get our money's worth. Also, too, just to note, I'm not a financial advisor. If you're new to the channel, please understand that I love teaching people how to trade, and it's my goal and my passion to do that, right? Financial stability is an important thing. I've been financially stable for quite some time, just based on the simple fact that trading's been a large part of my life, and I want to make sure that we have the same opportunity for you. So obviously, like and subscribe if you like this. Feel free to check out my Patreon community. We'll have new slots available December 1st, and it's going to be kind of an exciting time. Already significantly grown in the last couple months. Thank you so much to my patrons for following me and believing me, and I just greatly, deeply appreciate you. Happy to help as well. So let's check this out for Request Network. Now, we always go from the one-day candlestick and work our way down, right? So looking at the one-day candlesticks, we can kind of see we've got two strong bullish days. Now the increase here, let's see roughly what that is. That is approximately 500. I do say 500% from bottom to top, right? Now I chuckle and I laugh because it's just amazing to me how this can happen sometimes. We look at the volume, you can obviously see there's quite a lot of volume in the past few trading days. And also something to note too, Request Network, I believe, has done this in the past. We go back and look at the weekly charts. You can see it ramped up very hard right back here in 2018. So this is no surprise. It happens sometimes. Now, generally when the price goes this high, I usually always recommend taking profits. I mean, literally, most people got in, just say around 0.03 to 0.2. In other words, 3 to 20 cents. If you got in at 3 cents, my goodness, take some profits. Don't get greedy. What would that be? 9,000% increase? I don't know what the number is. It's tremendously high. And I can tell you that it's probably not going to go much higher, at least right now. If you look at this, it tested its all-time high and got rejected. So I personally feel that the likelihood of it going significantly higher is low, right? And obviously it's compounding the lower the price action you got into. So generally speaking, try not to be a greedy diamond hand holder. Not to say it's a bad thing to hold on to it, right? That's okay. It's all well and good, but is it going to continue on? I mean, history tells us that it sells off pretty significantly after increases as fast. So I don't want to say I hate to say I told you so later. So right now, just recommend at least trimming some of your position and getting what you put in, right? If nothing else, and then letting the rest ride, or taking 20% off the top, whatever works best for you. But I just recommend that in general, because we can see everything's going to be exaggerated here. The RSI is extremely high on the one-day candlesticks. I mean, look at that. What is that? 93. That tells us that it's extremely overbought. Like, I don't even think extremely is an understatement. That's just literally, it's crazy high right now. Okay, so again, could it go higher? Sure, of course, it probably will. As a matter of fact, probably will do that. But how much higher is it going to go ultimately? That's what we're here to decide, right? So we'll look at Fibonacci retracement lines here, because honestly, there's not much else we can really extract from big picture here, based on the simple fact that everything's overextended, right? So there's not much else to look at. Let's take a quick look at some of the momentum indicators here. And let's take a look here. Now, taking a look at TD Sequential, which is probably one of my favorite indicators in the sense of understanding how far into a trend that you are and if it's going to reverse soon. Well, when you hit a 9 on TD Sequential, it typically turns around, right? Now, that's not always true, because as you can see, we hit a 9 here, and it shot all the way up to there, right? So that really didn't matter. However, for the most part, once you get into these extreme states, it starts to become more relevant. In other words, now that things have kind of calmed down a little bit, you can see we're at a 9 again. So once you hit a 9, traditionally speaking, the price is supposed to come back down or consider basically going sideways. So it could just straight up consolidate sideways for a little while, up and down for a little bit, and then eventually leg up again. It could do the same thing and retrace. But based on what we see here so far, we're at a 9, so we're kind of at the peak of this increase for now. That's what it's telling us. Again, the technical charts are telling us that. Is that going to happen? We don't know, obviously, but the technical data is screaming that it needs to calm down and retrace soon, right? That's basically what it's telling us. So I personally I use that as a firm indication of a buy signal or a sell signal, right? If it's the inverse and it's low and we got a 9 on the downside and we're bouncing off RSI 50 on the 4-hour, sure, yeah, I'll take a position any day. But when it comes to this, it's the inverse. I traditionally sell or trim my position. Now, this is my HODL coin, different story altogether. Maybe don't even worry about it. But if you are in a swing trade and just say you got in at 20 cents and you're up to $1 and you're 5x right now, don't be stupid and don't hold on for dear life while you see it just slowly crashing and all your profits are gone. Okay, that's all I'm just going to say, right? Take profits while you still can. That's why I am profitable now. That's why I can do this every day for a living, because it's really as straightforward as that. You got to take profits when you can, unless, of course, this is your long-term HODL bag and you just don't even bother touching it, okay? So there's two different sides of the coin. Anyways, so you can kind of hear where I'm going with this. Obviously, that's the sentiment there. And let's go ahead and take a look at a couple more things here. See what the Ishimoku Cloud is telling us. So the baseline's below the conversion line. So all good. We're basically in good shape there. Now keep this in mind. When the lagging span intersects with price action, which is this guy here, this green line, it's supposed to be a sign of selling your for profit, right? So what I'm getting at here is that this guy right here, pretty much intersecting with the price action. Yes, it's a couple cents off, but it's effectively coming across that plane. That's an indication that you probably want to consider exiting your position. Again, depending on the type of trade you have, you would want to consider, if nothing else, taking profits, right? That's what's going on. Now, this conversion line is still above the baseline, all well and good. Once it intersects, that's a secondary sign of selling your position. But for right now, based on where we're at, we're overextended on TD Sequential, and the lagging span is intersecting essentially with the previous candle wick. That, to me, screams sell this position, right? Again, that's just my thoughts. Do what you will with it, okay? But that is essentially what it's telling us. That's what the charts tell us, and these are things that I like to learn, or I've learned over the time, and I like to respect and utilize day to day. So if I was in this trade and I got in at 20 cents, I got in at 3 cents, I would exit a majority of my position, if nothing else, at least half, and I would wait for the dip and buy in again if it gives me that signal to buy in, right? Dollar cost average as the price goes down. Don't invest all your money right now because somebody else is telling you to do that, and don't invest all your money because you see the price jumping up and you're afraid of missing out. Fear of missing out is the worst quality you could ever have in trading. It's at that exact same moment that the whales can tell, they can sense that fear and that desperation, they sell their position and you're just totally wrecked. Anyways, just words of advice, wisdom, whatever you want to call it. I've been trading for a long time, not to say I'm the best, but I have a really good system in place, and I respect these things that I'm explaining to you here today, okay? That's all I can say. So last thing we want to look at is Fibonacci retracement. Let's see what the best case scenario would be, right? Let's say this baby just keeps on cranking. How much higher could it go? Well, better case scenario on the short term. Again, this is very, very short term. This is basically just 12 hours worth of trading. I'm just going to keep it simple. Best case scenario in the next 12 hours would be $1.57. That's a better case scenario. Now, ultimately, will that happen? I personally don't feel like it because, again, we're at TD Sequential, we're at a 9. The price should continue to consolidate and retrace. If it does, I would say that a support level potential is about 81 cents based on the simple fact that it's tested that twice and rejected and stayed above, okay? So somewhere between 81 cents and 86 cents would probably be a pretty strong likelihood of the price consolidating down, just based on the sheer fact that oftentimes Fibonacci retracement, I see it usually like 0.382, 0.236. Those are very common areas for the price to come down and kind of relax after it's been overhyped. So again, just something to consider, something to think about. But big picture, am I bullish on Request Network? No, I don't personally think it's going to go much higher just based on how high it went in such a short amount of time. What goes up must come down. The harder the bigger you are, the harder you fall, right? This got big very fast and it needs to fall down and kind of collapse. So again, hopefully you find benefit here, and I hope it's not a told you so situation. I really hope it just keeps going up, right? That'd be awesome. I hope you take your profits and you do very well. Just make sure you're smart and you respect these support levels, and make sure that you understand that Fibonacci retracement right now is telling us we're going to lose, the price is going to continue to decrease. Furthermore, TD Sequential is telling that as well, right? They got pretty much every single sign right now to sell your position. Just letting you know the facts. All right, I hope you found benefit here, of course. Thank you so much for joining me. And I'm sorry to come down hard if that's what it feels like, because I just like to make sure to reaffirm best practice, and it's important for us to learn as much as we can. And if you don't already know these things, maybe watch this video a couple of times and make sure you kind of understand where that's going. I have a trading community, slots available on the 1st. Make sure you consider joining there, where I continue to reiterate these best practices and send out signals for every single trade that I take, so you can learn how to structure your trades. We'll see you in the next video. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care. Thank you so much.